I apologise for being a little late. I turned the computer on and it decided to update. And it was quite a big update, so I'm sorry about that. So 2 minutes late, but here, looking forward to being with you today. Now, just double checking that I have got the link. Oh, goodness me. Oh, God, I'm an idiot. I haven't sent him the link. How very silly of me. That is a real buffoon move. Right, I'm going to do that right now. We've got Dr. Chris. I've arranged it all, and I've got Dr. Chris Walton today. I'm just going to send him the link. There we go. I'll see if I can contact him on Facebook. That was very silly of me. So I've been looking forward to this. If we get Chris Walton on, this is going to be a fantastic show because it's all about gamma brain waves, and it's clever stuff. And I could probably, and apparently practical applications of them in your life as well, which would presumably include sending the guest the link. Bear with me. Let's just pop that there. Oh, bum, it can't send it. Never mind. I've sent it by email. Has that sent? Yes, that's sent. Brilliant. Okay. Super. I hope I've sent that to the right Chris Walton. Otherwise, we might get a completely random guest. Another senior moment. Oh, shut up, Graham. No, it's not a senior moment. It's a busy moment. I think we're all overly busy, aren't we? Busy hillism. I'm wearing a T-shirt, Graham, which I think you'd appreciate. I neither have the time nor the crayons to explain this. So let's hope our guest turns up. I can't believe I forgot to send him the link. Damn and blast. Never mind. I was going to pop onto his website and contact him through there as well. Won't be a minute. So let's do some hellos. If you want to barrack me, you're more than welcome to do so. Hold on a minute. There he is. Go ahead and barrack. I really don't care. Barrack away. We do some hellos as well. Oh, it's just Graham heckling at the moment. Oh, I've got a couple of hearts. So people, I'm still getting the love. I'm still getting the love. Right, let's see if I can just send him a quick email on here. Cool, bloody good website. That's very good. Very, very good. Can I send him an email here? I was really excited to talk about this as well because I read absolutely fascinating things about this. I've read his book, which is absolutely extraordinary. I suppose it's best to say he's a peak performance psychologist, which is the best, but that doesn't really cover it. No, not Barack as in Obama. Barack, B-A-R-R-I-A-C-K. Barack as in heckle. He's a peak performance psychologist and he studied gamma waves. Now, we have lots of different kinds of brain waves going on in our brains all the time, whether we know it or not, which is odd, because I then ask the deep question, who's the one that knows it or doesn't? But that's maybe getting a little bit too deep. But he deals with expanding consciousness and the gamma brainwave in particular. We've got beta waves, which is the one that most of the human race are in most of the time. And that's where stress can live. But then it's a very kind of spiky wave, if you like. But there's alpha waves, which are bigger and smoother. And that relates to our experiences. Look at that beautiful sunset. Then you got theta and delta, which are associated with deep healing. Hello, Eve. How are you? And then you've got gamma, which is super uber focused. And this is where his work as a peak performance psychologist comes in, because he helps people to really quickly tap into that gamma wave and then use it in practical terms in their life. And if it can be done deliberately and easily, then why wouldn't we do it? Let me just see if I've got his number, because I really do want him on. Otherwise, we'll have to find something else to talk about. Yeah, I have just sent link. So sorry. So sorry. Join at any time if you can. Okay, brilliant. Barry J. Allen, hello to you. So, if we don't get him on today, I will ask if he can come on again. He's been on before, actually, and he said he always wants to come back and discuss more about these sorts of things. So, if there is a brainwave, rather than many of us don't even know that we've got brainwaves, apart from the phrase, "Oh, I just had a brainwave." Literally, that is quite true, meaning a good idea. But could more good ideas come if we're in a different brainwave state? Did we even know that there are different brainwaves that we can be in? And even more important, what brainwaves are more conducive to certain activities that we want to do? If you're doing something that requires ease, relaxation, a gentle sort of a restful alertness of focus, you don't want to be in beta wave. That's too frenetic. It's too all over the place. But in certain situations, a beta wave would be good. Like stressful situation, you need to move out the way, like, see a runaway car or something, you need to jump out the way. That wouldn't be, oh, look at that beautiful sunset. It wouldn't be appropriate. But if we can access these brain waves at will, then how exciting would that be? How exciting would that be? I wish I had a producer today because I could give him a ring. If I might even just try and give him a ring and see what happens. This is live radio and anything could happen. This is my fault completely. What an absolute buffoon. But we can chat between ourselves, talk about other stuff. But I really would like to do this if possible. So let's see what he says. Is he going to answer? Or should we leave a message on his answer phone? Got this, by the way. It's super tough because I always drop my phone. Oh, bum. Answer a message. Let's leave him a message. This makes great radio, doesn't it? Hello, Dr. Chris. It's N.L.P. Long. I'm so sorry I forgot to send you the link, but I'm definitely there and waiting, and I've sent it to you on Facebook, I think, and definitely by email. So if you'd like to join us at any point, you'd be very welcome on the show. Okay. There we go. Paul Claridge. Now, how are you? Because I know you've been going through some stuff. But also the idea of theory of brainwaves, alpha, beta, gamma, is interesting. It is. And you can add theta and delta to that. In fact, I will look them up and give you the definitions. Brain waves. It is okay. So the electrical activity in the brain that are produced by neurons communicating with each other. So, and if you could see, like when we think or even see a thought, it literally is a fleck of light jumping from one neuron to another. I feel like Johnny Ball doing the science, but it literally, you've got your neurons and the light jumps from one to the other. Like that science experiment at school. Do you remember those two, I suppose, poles with a cylinder, not a cylinder, with a sphere on top, and the spark would jump. Do you remember those? Now, these are the waves. They can change depending on what a person is doing or feeling. Slower brain waves can someone feel tired, sluggish, or dreamy, while higher frequencies can make someone feel wired or hyper alert. So we can begin to see from that alone that there's times when all of those are useful. I'm not saying you need to be or want to be in gamma wave all the time. That would not be possible or desirable, I would have thought. But equally, most people are in beta wave all the time, and that is not desirable particularly. So beta, that's 14 to 38 hertz. It's associated with concentration and activity, but stress can live in beta as well. A lower wave, okay, now they go downwards, apart from one. Alpha waves, 8 to 14 hertz, slower. So you can imagine if it was a graphic, beta would be more like that, and alpha would be more like that, gentler peaks and troughs. Alpha, 8 to 14 hertz, associated with relaxation, like daydreaming or sleeping. Theta, 4 to 8, associated with drowsiness. And delta, 1 to 4, associated with sleep. You may have heard of theta healing, and in my understanding there, the practitioner will try and put you in that brainwave where deep healing can be done, basically because you're out the way. Very hard to do deep healing work in beta, I would have thought. Also, there may be a time you want to feel drowsy. You want to get a good night's sleep. You want to be in theta wave, but you want to be alert, concentration, activity. You want to be in beta. You want to kick back and relax a bit. You want to be in alpha, but the highest one, and it's faster than beta, 38 to 80, that's high. Remember the previous one was only up to 38, 38 to 80, associated with strong mental activity like studying and problem solving. So we can begin to see the practical applications of these. And if we can access these at will, then surely that's really good, right? And then we could, pretty much do what we want to do with it. And that's the fascinating thing. I'm just trying to call him again. I was really looking forward to this show. What an absolute bum. Never mind, we can still talk about it. So what do you find interesting about it, Paul? Put your answer on the timeline. And in a minute, I'll Google.
Hello, you've reached Chris.
Oh, bum. And in a minute, I'll Google what each brainwave is good for. So let me Google. Let's just I've got brainwaves in. Let's add the word what brainwaves are active during meditation. That's what I want. And unsurprisingly, it's not beta. Alpha waves in the 8 to 12 hertz band, they increase when the brain relaxes from focused tasks and are a sign of deep relaxation. Alpha waves may also help with creativity and can act, here we go, as a natural antidepressant. We hear a lot in the metaphysical communities about your vibration, your vibe, your resonance, if you like. These are all similar words for it. Alpha brainwaves obviously going to change the resonance because mind and body are connected. They're one united thing. So anything you could do to the body which changes the brainwaves in a way you want is a good thing, and anything you can do to the mind which will affect the body, it's a loop, isn't it? I'm still struggling to get my head straight, but despite my ongoing cancer issues at the moment, I'm feeling better about things. That's really good. I believe my state of mind is improved by spending a lot of time with my friend's pets, dog and a cat. Animals, I believe, can sense when we're stressed or depressed, and a great natural therapist. I could not agree more, Paul. And anything that makes you feel better is a really good thing to be doing, because anything that makes you feel better takes your attention off the problem for a bit. As I've mentioned before quite a lot on this show, we've got two parts to our nervous system which we need, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Sympathetic is stress, beta wave. Parasympathetic, I'm not sure it's been measured. Well, I'm sure it probably has. I haven't seen any science of it, but I know that only because I haven't looked. I'm sure it's there. But you measure the brain waves in the parasympathetic, and that's going to be really, really different, isn't it? That's going to be more relaxing. And all healing, any kind of healing of anything, occurs in parasympathetic, which put bluntly and fairly loosely means feeling better about things. So if you're feeling better about things, by any means, do it. I think it's also proved that smoking cannabis increases alpha waves as well, which I guess is why some people say, oh, it opens up my creativity. And I can understand that on a theoretical level, of course. Sue Sleet, good afternoon, reception. Good. No, the reception can be. Sue, yeah, sorry, I'm being mean. Reception not good as I'm on a train to Kent. Where are you coming from, Sue? 7 hours. 7 hours just to get to Kent. You poor thing. Where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? You got to be up at the mid. No, even not even that. You got to be up north. Actually, 7 hours journey down to Kent. Come on, tell us more, Sue. Tell us more. What are you doing? Why are you heading to Kent? So all the best, Paul. What's the prognosis with the cancer? What have they said? Feeling better is a very, very good step. As I said, that's the kind of science behind it, if you like. Any other questions about this? Or anyone like? I'm really hoping Chris will join us. But any other things you'd like to know about these brainwaves and what can we do with them? What if I Google how to use brainwaves? Here we go. How to use. See, what's just come up is how to use binaural beats. And this is an idea where I think binaural beats is more about synchronizing the left and the right sides of the brain. Here we go. Sounds like a bus replacement service from London. Actually, for once, that was quite funny, Graham. You're probably not wrong. Synchronizes the left and the right. Now, the left is... working out which way I'll appear on screen. That would be my left brain. The there as you look at me, I would have thought, and that would be my right. Not that it particularly matters, but and you can see actually what what brainwave forgot to send the link to the show. That's the plonker brainwave. That is a completely different frequency. That's the frequency of doing too much and probably too much beer last night. That was a joke. Well, the doing too much isn't. But thank you for that, Graham. Very much appreciated. So yeah, that's the plonker brainwave. Where did I get to? So where did I get to? You made me lose my train of thought there, Graham. Thank you, dealing with you. Where were we? Bus replacement services, brainwave frequency. Oh, I forgot. Anyway, yeah, there, left and right brain. So, and if they're synchronized, I've seen scientific sort of scanny type pictures of this. And there really is such a thing as it being synchronized. You can see it scattered, and then when they blend, and then if you've got your logic and your creativity working at the same time, then surely that makes you more powerful. And to get even more interesting, there's also heart synchrony as well. There's an organization in America that have done a lot of real hard science experiments on this. They're called the HeartMath Institute. And heart coherence is a really, really big thing. And you can measure your energy field around you, and heart coherence, it's massive. It's like a big, expansive, almost like the angel pictures that you see with the light and the kind of gyroscopic circles and all that sort of thing. Does that make sense? And if you see that, it's like, wow, it makes you bigger, not smaller. So anyone thinks that following your heart is small and namby-pamby, science would probably disagree with you. Your thoughts, please. As for the brainwaves, during my previous cancer treatment, says Paul, I found that my state of mind affected, how well or how badly the treatment went. In a good mood, it worked better. In a bad mood, something would inevitably go wrong. Yeah, and I can understand that because a good mood means you're in allowance, means you're in parasympathetic, means you're not resisting anything, you're not wasting energy pushing against what you don't want, rather allowing what you do. And it's very hard to use all your energy pushing against something when there's something you want to allow inwards. They're different energies. One's if you like a yang energy, if you like, pushing. The other one's more of a yin, female energy, allowing. And that's what's needed here for the healing. Absolutely, categorically, I'm pretty much 100% on that. So anything like, back to Dr. Google, meditation would work. That increases alpha waves, which are associated with relaxation and creativity. Meditation, and here we go, can reduce beta waves, which are associated with active thought and learning. If you think about it, like last night, a friend of mine came around and I was pretty much in alpha. I was just relaxing after the day, and he just got back from a trip. Really great mate of mine. And he wants to tell me all these things and bring me up to date. And I couldn't really take it in. I was like, oh, dude, stop, slow down. And it's not that I don't want to hear it, and it's not that I don't need or want to catch up, but I just wasn't in the right receptive brain state for it, which is the thing. So I just have to kind of tell him. But there's someone else I know who will consider that rude and can be quite offended by that, as if I can, rewire my whole neurology just to please him so he can feel good about himself. There you go. Some people, eh? All right. All these different brain waves is all Greek to me. I think you could do with omega, some oil for the brain. Graham. Gotcha. So back to how to use brain waves. Closed eye visualization is a technique used in mindfulness meditation. That includes alpha waves, healthy and happy pictures in the mind, good feelings, parasympathetic. Deep breathing is a technique used in mindfulness meditation to increase alpha waves. I've got a book on breath work over there, actually. I might come on to that. Now, here's an interesting thing. Eating nuts like pistachios and peanuts can help boost gamma and delta brainwaves. I did not know that. Music with a strong beat can stimulate brainwaves to resonate in sync with the beat. Now, I've talked about this before because, as you know, I'm a DJ, and the magic... We're having a real match this morning. I prefer an Omega watch. Okay, fair enough. I'll come back to you when I think of something funny, a funny repost. 128 is the magic beat. Now, this is only recently. This is why these are quite exciting times we live in, because these things can be measured now. Normally, anything to do with brainwaves, energy, anything basically metaphysical. It's like, oh, you've got to go off to some monastery in Thailand and become a Buddhist. You don't have to do any of that. Although mindfulness is a part of Buddhism, and actually all religions, I think, or proper religions, shall we say, ones that don't destroy people, have a contemplative aspect to them, and any kind of contemplation will increase the alpha waves. But this is science, and these are things that we can do deliberately, and because it's used in religion doesn't mean you have to be religious to use it. You don't have to become a Buddhist to do things that the Buddhists do. It's just that they brought it to the world years ago, and now they're probably smugly, although they're far too spiritual to be smug, going, well, yeah, we told you. And people say, oh, wasn't it great? Science has discovered that. And they're like, no. Science has caught up. And they're right, to be honest with you, because these teachings have been passed down through the years. But isn't it interesting that they can blend now? And isn't it interesting that science and spirituality now meet and agree on things? Isn't that interesting, though? Not science and religion, though. No. But science and spirituality, they're actually one and the same thing. It just looks at it from different points of view. And our Western minds, particularly to old, cynics like us, we prefer the scientific point of view, don't we? We understand the scientific point of view better. But for those of you metaphysically minded, I'm more than happy to talk in those terms as best I can, because I prefer the sciencey too. Liz, he needs omega oil with those jokes. He needs more than that. I think a taser would do well, actually. Bronya Simpson, I eat nuts. I am nuts. Oh, thank you, Bronya. But I mean, you may be, but it will also boost gamma and delta brainwaves. There's also neurofeedback, which is a non-invasive technology that uses visual and auditory cues to train your brain to use its optimal state. There's an awful lot of work being, done with virtual reality now. Now, I don't know if anyone has ever been in a VR set. I can show you one. These are good. Right. Have you ever, stick a yes or no in the chat. Have you ever seen one of these? Like that. Okay. Have you ever seen one of those? Because VR used to be like you'd have this little thing around your head, and then you put your mobile phone like that, and I don't know, watch a roller coaster or something like that. And yeah, it was all right. It was the technology at the time. But you go inside one of those, and you are in 360 degrees. You can go to any universe. You can do anything. And yes, Graham, they do make rude movies for it. Just you're probably thinking it. So, not that I've ever seen. Well, only once. You have to try. But yes, that does exist. But all kinds of science and all kinds of things are being developed with, virtual reality. And Mr. E. Ken, my producer, he's brilliant. He used to go into old folks' homes and do virtual reality with them. And I swear, the impact he was having was absolutely incredible. People who hadn't been stimulated, for want of a better word, behave, Graham, in that way for ages, were responding differently. They were coming alive. They were making new connections. They were communicating more. They were more alert. So people that think that once you get to a certain age, oh, that's it. No, unless you're ill, things can be done to keep the brain active and young and fresh by what you eat, by what you think and believe, and by what you do, which is a great thing, surely, because, nobody wants to decline, I would have thought. Graham, I always have a jar of almonds on my desk to eat during the day. There we go. I don't know if there's any particular benefits to almonds. We know that peanuts and pistachios change the brainwave, which is good. Paul, I'm not laughing at that, Paul. I've just seen a silly one. I'll put that on next. Paul, I'm also told by some very close friends who have mental health issues that I have a natural ability to counsel them. My dearest friend, who I won't name, has BPD, borderline personality disorder. When she has an episode that can bring on suicidal thoughts, she will phone me or ask me to meet her. She will scream, cry, get very angry. When she comes down again, she will sob and she's happy again. She believes it's my state of mind that can help her. Quite possibly. I think what you do, Paul, and yes, it is your state of mind, but I think what you do, what you give for her is a safe space. she's able to show you the worst side of her, and you will not judge her, and you give her a safe space to move through it. And in that catharsis, in the screaming, in the crying, in the letting it go, she's processing an awful lot of shit with the safe space that you're giving her, if that makes sense. And she will attribute that to you. Did you do it? Technically speaking, no. In the same way when I do N.L.P on people, and it can be very, very quick, and they go, wow, how did you do that? And I'm like, well, I didn't. You did. But what I do know with the N.L.P skills is the right buttons to push at the right time. I'm not an expert at it, but I'm all right. And it's similar with you. You're not doing it per se, but you are the conduit to it and are allowing the safe space for it. It's not magic fairy dust, but it's the closest thing to it. But the point is, she has that magic, and probably could be taught, if she wanted to be, to do it for herself. I'm not speaking as a health professional. I imagine going through that stuff by yourself, but it's also an awful lot easier to do it in a safe space created by other people. Can you do it yourself? Yes, but it's probably not desirable. You know, if I had to give myself, stitches on the arm, it's probably better that a qualified surgeon does it. And even if I was a qualified surgeon, it'd be better if someone else did it than me. Can I do it by myself? Yes. Is it desirable? Not necessarily. Is it easier and more helpful with other people? Yes, it is. What has a hazelnut in every bite? Squirrel poo. Old joke, Graham. Old joke. Go and stand in the corner for that one. Bronya, I ate nuts all through my pregnancy as I didn't want a scaredy cat wokey kid. And did it work, Bronya? Did it work? And what nuts did you eat out of interest? Which nuts did you eat? Because they are good for you. I don't mean the packets of peanuts that you get in pubs, but nuts are generally pretty good for you. Unless you've got a serious nut allergy, and I know someone has, in which case they're not good for you at all. But he refuses to carry an EpiPen because he's a silly sod. I might get my book on breathwork in a minute. It's going quite quickly. We've been here nearly 27 minutes. I will send Chris an email to apologise, and I will get him back on the show if he will come, because he's absolutely superb. But we can talk more about this. I'll be led by you. What would you like to talk about? We could talk about brainwaves. We can go through some of the things that change the brainwaves, like breathwork. So I've got a really good book on breathwork. I can see it just over there. So I can certainly grab that, and we can talk about that. Be led by you. I'm getting a lot of likes and hearts today, which is very nice. Thank you very much indeed. Who's giving me hearts? Hello. Reminder. Mind you, I've got a date. Date. It's the thing about dating. When you're working and you're middle-aged, you have to sort of kind of do it during the day, which is nice. But anyway, I'm doing that later, not now. Yes, he's studying maths at Leeds University. Well, he's not silly then, is he? But what nuts did you eat, Bronya? That's what I want to know. What nuts did you eat to make this wonder child that you made? It's not a bad thought, is it? I mean, a diet really is important. I mean, there's absolutely no question about it. Changing what you eat can change the way you feel, or changing what you drink, or how much you drink might be another way of saying it. 12:30. We've done nearly 30 minutes. This is great. And Bronya, peanuts, salted or dry roasted? I need to know. Or those kind of ones covered in a sort of crispy biscuit type thing with sort of barbecue or curry flavour. Which ones? I need to know. We're gonna study this scientifically. Let me know. Salted peanuts. There we go. And how many salted peanuts did you eat per session? Was this like pregnancy cravings? Did you just like crave peanuts all the time, or something weird like peanuts and honey or something like that, or peanuts and I don't know, chocolate sauce, or peanuts and salsa, or something odd? It's just me and Bronya at the moment. The rest of you talk amongst yourselves. What was it, Bronya? I'm curious. And was it a natural craving? And do women crave certain things that their bodies and the babies need? Is that the purpose of a craving? So if they suddenly, need charcoal or eat charcoal or something, maybe there's a good reason for it. I do know someone I knew ate ants once when he was young, and then it turned out when his parents took him to the doctors that it was weird, that ants contained something that his body really needed. So it's like he knew, or some part of him knew. So make of that what you will. My pregnancy cravings were anything orange. Well, orange flavored or color orange? So, do you have a pregnancy craving for Donald Trump, possibly? That's a pretty terrible thought. I've got a stand-up gig tonight down in Dorset. And apparently, people in Dorset don't like you doing that West Country accent, because people in Dorset don't speak like that. They speak more like this. But I've got to do it once, I suppose. But the thing is, I do that Yokel West Country accent very well. I'm going to be really tempted if I go down there and do that. But it's probably better than that. But I'm looking forward to it. And I've got a new song, because it's a musical parody that I do. BiffinBrothers.com, by the way. I'll give that a shameless plug. In fact, I'm going to put that on the screen. This is my comedy YouTube channel. Now, I will give you fair warning that this is not suitable for children, and it is not suitable for work. But if you remember the Barron Knights, if you're old enough, and it was funny songs, it's kind of the Barron Knights gone dark, if you like. So if you do want to laugh, you can. And I'll tell you what, do us a favour, give us a like, follow my channel, and there's some very funny stuff on there, which I wouldn't even get away with on this show, let alone on most radio. But if you like it rude and saucy and naughty, then that's the channel for you. And if you want a clean one, which is U-rated, song for the underrated, that's U-rated, and that's nice. The rest of it is a little bawdy. Shall we say. Right, back to the comments for a moment. Liz says, I've cut down on carbs, do more exercise, and eat proper food. Lost more than 2 stone in 11 months. That's really good, Liz. Well done. Tango's Calipos, fuck not Donald Trump. I was eating the world out of anything orange. I wish you'd have eaten Donald Trump, to be honest with you. Neil says, Paul, you're 100% right. That's what she told me. She feels safe with me. It's really important. Because feeling safe with someone or feeling safe will put you in parasympathetic. That's where the healing occurs. The parasympathetic system, the rest and digest system, is not active when you're in a state of fear. So if you're having a bored person like a BPD episode, you're not going to be in parasympathetic. You help her to get there by creating a space where she can feel safe. So again, you're not doing it, but you're facilitating it. That's the closest word I've got. She feels safe with me, and she knows I never judge her. I never get angry or upset with the verbal abuse that she can throw at me during an episode, because it's not personal. There's times I'll say to friends, I'm really angry, I need a rant. And, I'm a boy from Surrey, I'm fairly well spoken, but my God, I can turn the air blue when I want to. But they know it's not about them. So they're not taking it personally. And I'll rant and scream for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm fine. And it just kind of helps to get it all out. It's quite a healthy way of doing it. And other people say it to me, can I have a rant? I'm like, yeah. And of course I wouldn't take it personally, because it's not directed at me. Then again, I've known some people that can make anything seem personal against you, even when it's got nothing to do with you, but I don't see them anymore. She's told me about some truly harrowing, horrific incidents in her life, which she's never mentioned to anyone else, and she knows I will never discuss with anyone else. Yeah. I would also look at havening. Paul, you can read about it in Paul McKenna's book. I think it's called The 3 Things, or it might be 5 Things That Change Your Destiny. It's the only one with a title like that, so you know it. Or the Instant Charisma book, and he describes this incredible technique called havening, which back to brainwaves creates delta waves in the brain and unblocks the neurotransmitters. It's like the door is wedged open, so people can be re-traumatized with anything that's like, as the mind works by association, they see something connected to it, they see something related to it. For example, we're talking about orange a minute ago with Bronya. So if someone had a traumatic experience and there was bright orange involved in the colour, anytime they see something, anything, a jacket, a hairdo, bright orange, it could possibly trigger that, even though it's not the same thing, because the unconscious mind works by association, and they can be loose associations at some point. But so essentially, the science of it in the brain, the neurotransmitter door is kind of jammed open. So when there is that trigger, whether it's real or not, or vaguely related or generally related, it will bang, and it will feel like literally it's happening again right now, because that's how the unconscious works. But havening with the delta wave, it unblocks, I think it's a molecule of potassium or something like that, I'll have to look it up, unblocks the neurotransmitter, the door shuts, it can be reuptaken again. In other words, everything can flow again, like the river can flow, take the shopping trolley out of the river flows again, and all is well. And then people could see, to continue with our example, the orange colour, and it would have no more emotional sting than, shall I have beans on toast or a chicken pie for dinner tonight, rather than this awful reliving of the trauma over and over and over again. And it really is worth looking at that, Paul, because I do believe Paul McKenna, he's a worldwide brand, and he's not going to put crap out on the market if it didn't work and it wasn't tested. And he's done work with war veterans who've seen some awful things, as you can imagine. Dead children and children being blown to pieces. Sorry to be graphic, but I need to make the point. And he was getting flashbacks to those. That neurotransmitter door was open, but the havening got rid of it, and it healed him within an hour and a half, 90 minutes. And that's incredible. And when you think about that, for trauma of that level, thinking about it with old school psychology, Freud and all that, way back when, or even CBT, even the modern day ones, they couldn't do that in 90 minutes. With Freudian stuff, you'd know why. With Freud, you wouldn't know how to get rid of it. CBT, things like that would help, but this is a real breakthrough, and it came not necessarily through, and it came through the field. The guy that Ronald Rudin, I think, was the Dr. Ronald Rudin, who's a normal medical practitioner, but he was open to this idea because he was looking for things that could help heal. He could go so far with the paradigm that he had, but he was looking for more. He was looking for something that would really work, and it would really work fast. And this did. So havening, look it up in the Paul McKenna books. I'll give it a Google. Havening, Haven, named after safe haven, like this, because it makes you feel safe. There we go. Back to safety, Paul. Remember I said she could do it by herself if she wanted to. This would be probably the closest way to do it, because it would create the delta waves, the healing waves. It would unblock the neurotransmitter and all that sort of thing. Graham, do Terry's chocolate orange count? He was such a berg. And Bronya, you're the cheapest therapist on the block. Thank you. Well, I'm not really trying to do therapy, but I'll happily talk about it. We've got 23 minutes, so any personal, emotional or sexual problems, whack them on. But this is a safe space. The Midday Show was always set up, and then it's in its previous incarnation as men's radio, it was set up to be a safe space primarily for men, where men could really talk. And we brought some of that over, changed the output quite a lot, but we brought some of that over to the Midday Show, certainly on a Wednesday, and I'm very happy to do that. And interestingly, in our previous incarnation, 50% of the audience were women, which is interesting. Getting insight into our brains. We're fairly simple creatures, as my girlfriend would tell you. So where was I? Therapy. Any questions? Comments? Because the last comment kept me going for about 7 minutes. So I'm just kind of responding to you. I'm just literally talking to all of you on the timeline, to Paul and Bronya and Graham, or barracking him, and Liz and Paul. Who else have we got? Robert Van Buren is probably there. Sue Sleet, who's on a train to Kent, and the sound keeps dropping, and she can't hear properly anything about. I want to be in touch with Chocolate Orange Man. So what does that mean? Is there I've heard of the Green Cross Code Man. I've heard of the Jolly Green Giant. The closest I know to Chocolate Orange Man is Donald Trump, and you probably won't want to be in touch with him. I better take my website off there. Go on, give us a like and a follow on that. But I warn you once again, it's not for kids and it's not for work. It is rude, but it does make people laugh, which is the important thing. And I do not apologise for spreading mirth, even if it can be a little bawdy. Who's the Chocolate Orange Man you're thinking of, Bronya? Is this someone that I've missed? Talking to you again, Bronya. Directly to you. Keyboard. Who is the Chocolate Orange Man? Keyboard me, baby. Oh. People with BPD can often mistakenly be seen as just rude and aggressive people when they're having an episode and could find themselves in trouble due to others not recognizing or understanding that the stranger or friend shouting at them as BPD. I urge everyone to look up the signs of BPD on YouTube. There's a lot of videos on there, which perfectly describe BPD. Yeah, that's an interesting one. But I've had people talk to me that way, but they were just, I would say that was narcissistic rather than BPD. And I do know someone who has BPD. Another friend of mine, he told me, and occasionally he will have a little outburst. But it's not easy when people are shouting at you. You got to. It's very easy not to take. It's hard not to take it personally, isn't it? When someone's shouting directly at you, particularly if you're not to blame for it. Vaping's going to kill me. Yeah, I'm trying to quit, Bronya. I'm reading Alan Carr, Easy Way to Quit Vaping, and it is on my list to do of things to quit. So thank you for that. But it's probably better than smoking. That's a big debate, isn't it? Is vaping better than smoking? I would argue yes, as long as there's not all kinds of horrible things put in the liquids by unscrupulous manufacturers that just want to share of the market. Then I would argue it could be just as bad as smoking, but I don't do better. Yeah, all right, blimey. But what you throwing the judgments at me, Bronya? What, you should do better. You're like making a voice, you are. Hang on, I'm your therapist a minute ago, and now you're triggering my inner critic that's telling me that I'm a useless, worthless nobody that really shouldn't be even talking to. And just kidding, talking to anyone. Thank you, Bronya. Where are you from, Bronya? By the way, interested. And I want to know who Chocolate Orange Man is as well. Come on. No, you're not my therapist. You sound more like anyone in my life that would nag me. Guernsey. Oh, Guernsey. I know a chap in Guernsey. He does a lot of music program for the radio station I work for. VR headsets. Never tried one or bought one. I'll tell you what, Paul. I think we know each other well enough through this show. You'll have to come round one day, and I'll give you a session on the VR. If you'd like to try it. Yeah, we could set that up before Christmas if you want. You want to come around for a cuppa and a bite to eat? I'll invite you to Shay Long here and show you the VR. Don't worry, I'm harmless and house trained. If you'd like to. Never tried one or bought one, but I know they work fine with what I do in my spare time, which is create 3D virtual worlds. Hello. My latest one, yeah, but this is more than 3D. This is almost 5D. 3 dimensions. I could draw a cube. One of those cubes that you draw with the dotted lines behind it. So it's like those pictures you look at and it says keep staring and it'll turn inside out, or the dancer will dance the other way. That's 3D. But this is absolutely immersive. Literally, it's like being in a whole new universe. You look around and it all moves with you. It's utterly extraordinary. Plus, they have augmented reality in there as well, which is extraordinary. Oh, piss off, Graham. Is that your way of asking people to come around to see your etching? So you think I'm using this show just to fulfill my hedonistic desires to get people around my house and see my etchings? Oh, Graham, I'm surprised you think so little of me. But you know what they say, perception is projection. You point fingers, Graham, there's 3 pointing right back at you, dude. If you spot it, you got it. So I think you're the one with the etchings problem, not me. Never tried one or bought one, but I know they work fine with what I do in my spare time, which is to create 3D virtual worlds. My latest one is up on YouTube and called Friar Park 3D Virtual World. This is Get Me Young and My Brain Active, and I'm 74 at the end of the month. This virtual world is loosely based on George Harrison's stately home in Henley-on-Thames. Check it out with your headset and try and find the rocking stone. Russ knows me of old. He came to my 50 cliffhanger. We need the rest of that. Seriously, why don't you come around, Paul, and have a look at it in there? But that wasn't specifically designed for VR. What you want is something that actually is. So you get the full three. Look, they have roller coasters on there. It feels so real that when I used to take it down the pub and let people have a go, because I'm generous like that. So I had a weird noise. Because I'm generous like that. Literally, there'd be glasses flying everywhere. People would be like reaching out, grabbing what they thought was the bar in front of them. I don't mean the bar where you get drinks, the roller coaster bar. Yeah, absolutely extraordinary. Really, I cannot impress how impressive this stuff is. There's one. It's actual footage of when man first landed on the moon, or one of the space missions, something like that. If it's not first landed on the moon, it's very close, but it shows the planet that you're on the moon looking back at planet Earth, which is extraordinary and profound, almost spiritual. It's just so deep and so profound, and fully grown men have come out of that in tears because it is so utterly mind-blowing and profound. And this is just thanks to the miracle of VR. Quite extraordinary. Comments, please. Comments and opinion. But you could probably make that 3D, Paul. And oh, do you know? I said that was Paul. That's not Paul. That's Pete. I'm so sorry. I thought that was Paul Claridge. I beg your pardon. Just ignore everything I've said for the last 5 minutes. Pete, I've read the comment out already with the cliffhanger when I was 50th. I will look that up, Pete. I will very much look that up. Definitely, that looks really, really interesting. How do you do that? Is it, well, I suppose it's a computer program. Is it like, what's that computer program where you build towns and things? I can't remember what it's called. Oh, what's that called? Someone help me here. It's not new. Yeah, you build and construct towns and things that go on in towns and how they interact with each other and communities and all that sort of things. How does that work? Oh, what's that called? Someone help me out there, please, if you would. Help! More comments, please. More comments. Sim City, thank you. Sim City. You're right, that's it, Liz. Sim City. Is it like that, but a more advanced version, possibly? Yeah, Sim, that's it. Sim City or Sims, I don't know, Sim, I think. But yeah, close enough, Liz, thank you. Yeah, interesting. Comments, please. Comments and thoughts. Talked about some really interesting stuff today. I will send Dr. Chris an email. He's not going to be here now. I think it's fairly obvious, but that's entirely my fault, not his. So I will send him a grovelling email to apologise and invite him back on the show as soon as possible. Don't know if I've got a guest book for next Wednesday or not. Let's have a look. Have I got a guest for next Wednesday? No, I don't. So hopefully we'll get him on then. And it really is, if what I've said today has interested you in any way at all and wetted your whistle and you want to hear more, then I would absolutely recommend that you listen to the show where we get Dr. Chris on. Any comments or thoughts? We've got 13 minutes left. Anything you want to talk about, you guys? I'm really just riffing off you today. So I kind of need you. Or we can just sit here and have a silent meditation. Pete, like Second Life. Yes, I remember Second Life. This is because you can just literally go and be anything. And it's quite interesting. You can literally build this fantasy life, be anything you want, interact with anyone you want. Second Life, interesting stuff. Very much interesting stuff. That's brilliant. So is it... you say you've never used one, Pete. It's called Open Sim. There we go. Sim. What does Sim stand for? Simulated. Let's look it up. It's going to come up with SIM cards for phones, isn't it? Oh. I don't know if this is for phones or for games, but this is quite interesting what it's come up with. Anyone know? Anyone want to have a guess what SIM stands for in that context? Simulation. Yes, that's not what's come up on Google, but it's it probably does stand for that in that context. But it's come up as subscriber identity model. Only works on a computer. Yeah, but I bet it could be turned into 3D and put into one of these, assuming you can download it. There's probably software can you download it? I don't know, or is it just on the computer only? I'm fairly sure there's software that could do that. I'm certainly sure the technology exists or has the potential to exist, shall we say. Yeah, anything else? Talk to me. You build it online, says Pete. Okay. And how long does it take to build something of reasonable size? Is it something you can be Pete at for hours, and does it sort of like you get to one level, for one, that's not quite the right word, but get to one point and they think, right, okay, that's the foundations in place. Now I'm gonna. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Once the foundations in place, and you can begin working on the relationships people have with each other there, and all that sort of stuff. What do you think? How does that work? I'm interested. It is interesting stuff, isn't it? And they're doing an awful lot of work with it in healing and all that sort of stuff, as I said before. The George Harrison world took me a year. A year? Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to put that up. Wow. And how much of that, what, how many hours a day? An hour a day? Something like that? 2 hours a day? I'm going to look this up. Now I need to know. I'm going to look this up. It's a shame I can't show it on screen, but I can describe it well. Let's have a look. Right, let's pop on YouTube. Let's have a look. I need to see this right now. Friar Park 3D virtual world. Okay. Oh. Music playing. Friar Park in kind of medieval font. Approaching gates. Sort of black and white. Sepia sort of colour. A 3D virtual world. Do you mind if I mention the YouTube channel so people can follow it? Stick a yes if that's all right. This is clever. Oh, this is clever. Oh, look at that. Very ornate. I can see why this took you a year to create. That is very, very detailed. Um, okay. Wow, my sweet lord, that was a long time. That was a great song, wasn't it? The video didn't take so long to make. It's just a show around video. Oh, okay. Oh, oh. Right. Okay. I think I see the difference there. But I had 200 gigabytes of footage to sift through. Wow. That's incredible. Going back to an earlier comment, Bronya, no thanks. I think you're a serial killer. What were you talking about there, Bronya? Was that what I said about coming round? I wasn't inviting you round. I was inviting Paul Chapman round, actually, not you, Bronya, because I don't know. How do I know that you're not a serial killer and you've just infiltrated this show for your next victim? How do I know? I want to know what you're talking about there. What was that in response to, Bronya? Tell me. No thanks. I think you're a serial killer. What was that in response to? Pray tell. Pete, is it all right to mention the YouTube channel? Would that be all right? Just pop a yes in the chat. If it is, I'll wait for your yes before nothing beats fresh air, sunny days, crisp snow, simple things. Sure, yes, it's Mud Puddle. If you I'm going to give it a Mud Puddle UK. Mud Puddle UK. If you'd like to check it out, really good. Thank you, Pete, for that. Mud Puddle UK, it's worth looking. I've also made worlds based on Yellow Submarine and also Van Gogh. Videos of those are on my channel too, the Mud Puddle UK channel. Bronnie, what were you talking about? Why do I look like a serial killer? Just off to that for a second. What? I think I'm fairly harmless. I don't know anyone that's scared of me. So why do I look like a serial killer, Bronya? I'm just wondering, where does that come from? Do I suck on my vape in a threatening manner? Oh, Bronya, we're all waiting. Now you have to share it with class. Got about 5 minutes left. Anything else you want to talk about for this last 5 minutes of the show? It's been really good, actually, just riffing with you. Just feels like we all got together and just had a little bit of a chat for an hour, and then now forth again. What are you doing for the rest of your day, everyone? I'm off to Christchurch. I went to Christchurch this evening to do a stand-up comedy gig. Suck. Funny. God, really? Is that the level with that? I mean, Liz, that is frankly, I would expect something like Pack to say. And I can only apologise for all this. Children. And we're trying to talk about adult subjects and have a sensible, mature adult discussion. And it has to be lowered to the lowest common denominator every time. It's not big. It's not clever. And frankly, it sucks. Okay. So 4.5 minutes left. So, well, listen, thank you for tuning in today. I'm so sorry we didn't have Dr. Chris Walton if you tuned in for that. Is it his fault? Not remotely. Is it my fault? 100%. I forgot to send in the link. But I will send him an email and apologise immediately after the show. And I will try and get him on for next week or the week after, because it is absolutely fascinating, because not only is it brainwaves, it's accessing these states, if you like, these internal states quickly. And really it's fulfilling more of your potential, fulfilling possibility. And when he brings consciousness into it, then I dare to think what is actually possible. So he's a really fascinating man. So we will bring that to your attention for your delectation and amusement next week or the week after, hopefully, whenever I can get him. Bronya, why do I look like a serial killer? I really need to know this before I go. Come on. I haven't killed anyone for ages. Let me just say, because I'm on live radio, I've never killed anyone ever. That was only just a joke, obviously.